Ever ask one of those questions, why are you here? Different people think about these in different ways. I'm not one of these people, but there's a lot here that I'm just born for it. I'm born for it. Scott, you're probably born for it. Dave's born for it. Others maybe a little bit more nervous. You're here because you want to learn something before you earn something. Yeah? So there's an opportunity, and I think maybe we've already had some learnings from today. Anyone got anything from today already? That's good. I don't have to work so hard. Some of us are in the position where I've just got to get out of this place. I'm in a place, I can't bear it. I can't live another 50 years like this. I've got to get out. I've got to get out. Maybe this is my way out. Others, Gary was saying, I need to feed the family. That was my way into business. Someone made me redundant, and I had to pay the mortgage in 30 days' time. Wow, that's hard. A few really aspirational people will go, I want to give more. Maybe one day I'll be one of those people. So I believe, and this is our hope and our desire for you guys today, is that what you have heard already has the power to change your future. Yeah? All opportunity lies in the future. The only thing we can do from the past is learn from it, and we should do that. We should definitely learn from it. But all opportunity lies in the future. Just going off-piste here a little bit, if I had an idea or a word for today, it's new wine, new wineskins. Yeah? So anyone's been around church, they will have heard. For heaven's sakes, there's even a conference called New Wine. And this would be my story, is, I've been around church for a while, and in my wine cellar, there's a lot of nice wine, virtual wine cellar. I haven't got a cellar yet. I've got some wine. But in my virtual new wine cellar, I've been around. I've got some good stuff. It's been laid down. It's been given to me over the years. It's matured nicely. And every now and again, I go and pull out a bottle, open it up, take a sip of the good stuff. Yeah? And, each year, there's new wines coming out, and I might have another one, add it to the cellar. It's all good. And it's a very mature cellar. There's old and there's new. That's not what Jesus was talking about. No? That's not how it worked. They didn't have glass bottles. What happened is they had to make these wineskins because the wine tree, I think they call it a vine, was going to give them some grapes. Yeah? And when the grape was ready, they had to crush it, and then they had to put it in something, and they put it in these wineskins, right? And then over the next 11 months, when there wasn't grapes on the vine, they had to drink it all up. Yeah? They had to drink it all. And then they had to throw away their old wineskins, because what they found is, if you put the new wine in the old wineskins, it burst. It wasn't any good. So as month one was coming around again, let's kill some animals, let's make some wineskins, because that wine, I need it, and I need to keep it. And then what happened? A whole year of new wine. So, for today, I believe that we've been carrying around a few old wineskins, right? And what you cannot do is take a little bit of this stuff and stick it in what you've already learned, yeah? What I think the challenge is for a lot of us today is, right, the old has gone, the new has come, yeah? Throw out the old wineskins. Those old ideas, those old things that you've learned, the old ideas about business, the old ideas about church, throw them out. They're not good for anymore, yeah? Get yourself some new ideas, yeah? I think what we've heard is some new ideas already. Joe is way ahead of pretty much, certainly me, in terms of what is a kingdom business. Thank you, Joe. And then fill it today, and not just today, with a whole new wine, yeah? And that will see you through the next 12 months. And in 12 months' time, be prepared to do exactly the same thing again, yeah? That's the picture. So, starting with, let's have a look at this wineskin. Why are you, want to be in business? Anyone got hands? Anyone? Oh, feel called to it. Okay, anyone else? Freedom, brilliant. Anyone else? Ray, give that girl a round of applause. I knew we might get to it sometime. You lot. Money. But what kind of money? What kind of money do you want, Ray? Amen. What I found when I went into business is that there was lots of money flowing around. There was wages, there was costs, there were bills, there were overhead, there were taxes. Taxes, oh my word. Then you had to invest in stuff, and then accountants start throwing around phrases like turnover. Huh? All this is money, but in the back of my mind, I had an itch that wasn't quite being scratched, because that wasn't really what I was after when I was thinking about money. There was one kind of money that I was particularly interested in. And I know we're in church, so I'm going to spell it out for you. Now, there's profit and there's profit, and I'm afraid I'm going to talk about the second one, yeah? Profit. That's what we're after. Now, there is this very well-known saying that turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is reality. Now, I'm sure a few of us have been in the same position. I was turning over money, and I got to the end of the year, and then I have a limited company, so I have to go and pay an accountant to go and meet with him. He's very good. And he said, "Oh, well done, you've made money." And I was like, "Great, made profit, well done." And I said, "Where is it then?" Because it's not in the bank account. The money that's in your bank account, hopefully, and even that's difficult, should be cash. And that's the really good stuff. Yeah? The trouble is, the Bible is way ahead of us, even though it's quite old. It actually says something like this: "It is vain for you to rise early and to retire late, to eat the bread of anxious labors." Now, that may mean lots of stuff. They say that every verse in the Bible means at least 10 different things. When you're not making enough money in your business, this is what it feels like. Yeah? You're eating the bread of anxious labors. Now, what I find, weirdly, is that my bonhomie, my psychological health, is actually directly connected to my business bank account. If there's money in the business bank account, it's like, it's a great day. I might go on that holiday. I wonder how Chris is doing. If it's not looking so great, it's like, but I get to work. Where's that bill? Oh, why are people paying me? I've got to get some more work. It comes stress, anxious labors. Yeah? So, and the only way that we get that is by earning or making profit. Yeah? Now, profit is one of those weird terms. It's one that accountants use. I think we kind of get the idea, but where does profit come from? There's this formula that I find helpful, and it's a useful formula for most things in life, especially if they're complex. It's called divide to multiply. Yeah? Let's take it apart. If you've got a complex problem, say your email's not working, what you don't do is, well, I'll go and get my new computer because obviously the email's not working. No, you have to be a little bit strategic. You have to go, well, why is my email not working? Is it the internet? Is it the Wi-Fi? Is it the DNS server? Is it my server's down? What it is, you start to take it apart. Yeah? And you start to find the problem with the specific thing. Yeah? And then when you put all those things back together, suddenly it works again. Yeah? So as we start to take this word apart, let's start really simple, because when I first met with my accountant, I thought, right, got to sign off a set of accounts. I better really understand what this guy's talking about. So I went in, and I was like, right, I'm not signing anything that I don't understand. So he said something, I didn't understand it. So I asked him a question. And we got past that. And then he said something else, and I had to ask him another question. After 5 minutes, I was like, I'm not going to play this game anymore. Give me the set of accounts, I'll sign it off. I don't understand very much. So, I'm coming from a humble position. Profit. Okay, let's start with profit. The weird thing that profit, it's actually shorthand for something. It's shorthand for profit margin. It's got like a brother and sister. And profit margin isn't actually a word, it's a percentage. And it's actually a percentage of something else. Anyone got any ideas what it's a percentage of? Oh, Ez. Have you seen this presentation before? Turnover. So turnover is, at the end of the year, however many bills that you've sent out, that's how much you've turned over. That's your turnover. And turnover, weirdly, just like profit comes from turnover comes from somewhere else. The rabbit hole gets deeper. Anyone know where turnover comes from? Oh, good. And where do... It's kind of right. Oh, who said that? Luke. Luke Harvard, everyone give him a clap. And I know you haven't seen this presentation before. Not my version. So customers. This is where your money comes from. So profit comes from turnover. Turnover comes from customers. Now, the weird thing about this stuff is that before I met what Joe has already referred to as a business coach, Simon, stand up. So Simon is a business coach. He has picked me up like every month, dusts me off, tells me I'm doing all right, gives me a pat on the back, and tells me also, what on earth did you do that for, Alex? But I literally wouldn't be standing here today. I'd be bankrupt without Simon. So thank you, Simon. Now, weirdly, before I met Simon, I actually asked a few people. I was like, well, how do you do that? And they said, you just go and do it. That was this was a multimillionaire. Alex, just do it. Do it. Get some customers. What? Where do I get them from? But Simon is a lot more helpful. He's taught me that there are ways of getting customers. Yeah? And there's also ways of creating profit. And actually, there are 5 ways. Just 5. It's just not that complicated. Doesn't matter which business you're in, there are only 5. So, here's the formula. I've filled it at the moment with numbers that go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah? So where we want to get to is the bottom of this process. Yeah? That's the money that we want. That's the profit. That's the fattened calf. We want to have that because if we can get profit, everything's happy with the world. Yeah? We can feed ourselves. We may be able to take holidays. We may be able to invest that profit into further businesses, or we may be able to give that in donations to someone who we want to support. But we're only going to get that if we can get to this profit thing. So, before we can get profit, we need to have money in the general turnover, and we know now that that comes from customers. There are actually 2 things that you need to get a customer. They don't just appear on trees. Well, sometimes they do, Joe. They turn up at your door, yeah, I know. But I'll challenge that in a minute. But, okay, anyone want to give me an idea of what one of those things may be? Marketing, right. What would marketing give you? Leads. You're all over this, Luke. Okay, so the great thing about this is we've got 2 things. And they're often said together as if they're one word, sales and marketing. But actually, they're completely different. Yeah? There is marketing activity, And the whole point of marketing activity is to put someone in front of you that you can then sell to. And the way that you do that is called sales. Yeah? Two things. So if we take marketing, they are sort of things. So a marketing activity is maybe an AdWord campaign. Yeah? Scott knows a thing or two about AdWords campaign, maybe? Yeah, on a good day. The purpose of that is that you put something out, and it will have a call to action. The call to action will be email, pick up the phone, speak to Alex. That's what I want. Yeah? That's your first thing. If you don't have that, you won't have the opportunity to do the second thing, which is your sales bit. Now, a lot of this stuff isn't that complicated. That's what I've learned. The number one rule in sales is to actually follow up. Yeah? Someone gives you a great lead, and what do you do with it? Nothing. What's going to happen to that? Nothing. Follow up. And then there are ways of communicating with people which will help people buy from you. Yeah? You can do a really excellent job of helping someone to buy from you, or you can do a really dreadful job. And that will have an effect. And that effect we can measure, and it's called a conversion rate. Yeah? So if we get some leads, and we convert all of those leads into customers, we've done a really good job, and we'll have a 100% conversion rate. Yeah? And those people then will be called our customers. And a customer is someone that's agreed to pay you some money in exchange for something you're going to do with them. I mean, actually, a customer is someone that's actually paid you some money. Yeah? Up until then, it's a little bit hopeful. Yeah? But, we've got to do these things in stages. So we agree to do something. We say we'll charge this amount of money, and then we do it, and then they follow through. There may be deposits and things, but that's your customer. So suddenly, we know how to get customers. It's a function of two things, one and two. One is doing some marketing, which will deliver you some leads. The second thing is doing some sales work to convert those leads to customers. Now, the next thing is that actually, we've got to get from customers to turnover at the end of the year. Yeah? And again, there are two things. Now, I'll just give you the first one, which is basically, the first one is number of transactions, which is basically, how many times is that customer going to buy from you? Yeah? What you're really looking for is someone who's going to buy from you again and again and again. Yeah? Most businesses will lose money on their first transaction, certainly in retail. And sometimes when you go into a shop and it's the first time, and if they're a good shop, and it's your first time, and they're a young girl who's buying perfume or something for the first time, you get a load of goodies. Why? Because they want the next sale. Yeah? They want the next sale. And weirdly, so much work is done in about getting new customers, which is all right. But the more important market is your existing customer base and how many times they're going to buy from you. Now, there is one more thing that will take you from number of transactions times something will give you your turnover. It's a little bit complicated. Can you think what it might be? Say it again. Oh! Woo! I'm just going to come down, and you're going to come up and take this mic, and you're going to give this. Yeah. How much? How much is the thing that you're selling worth? Yeah? Now, there are things that we can do to improve these things. So, in terms of the how many times, one of the most important things is, how good are you at customer service? Because if you stink at customer service, how many transactions is that new customer going to give you? Someone could put a number on that. One. It's not very good. So in order to get your next transaction, you're into customer services. Suddenly customer service is really, really important. Are you good at what you do? Are you nice to people? Yeah? And the second thing is the how much is, and we talked about this last year, we can just increase our prices. If we want to get better at this stuff, we can just increase our prices. We can add 10% to what we're doing tomorrow. and that will have a really beneficial effect. So we can increase these things. We can also do things like increase the value. So we can add different services together, to bundle things together, to make sure that we're hitting a higher number when we're selling each and every time they're selling. Yeah? We may want to consider the market that we're working in. We may want to consider that if you buy something in Hereford and you buy the same thing in Cardiff, one of those may be a better value for you. You know, you may be able to charge more just because of the different markets. All of these things are worth knowing. So what we've got some marketing, which is giving us some leads. We're doing well on our sales, and suddenly we've got some customers. And then we're doing well with our customers, and they're buying again and again and again and again at an agreed rate. And at the end of the year, we've done a number of transactions, and suddenly we've got turnover. Now, there's one last thing in this 5 ways thing that takes you from turnover to profit, and I've actually already talked about it, and it's called margin. Yeah? So just covering your costs isn't enough. It's not going to put cake on the table. Yeah? The whole purpose of business is to buy something, add value to it, and sell it at a higher level compared to what you bought it for. That's the magic. Yeah? We can add value. Now, the margin is all these things are critical, but in order to work with margin, you've got to really know what your costs are. Yeah? And that's actually pretty tricky, especially if you're growing a business, because your costs are changing all the time. Yeah? You also need to start to know is what products, Joe, are wedding cakes more profitable than birthday cakes? Are they? Massively so. Significantly so. So if you've got, 5 things to do, and you've only got time to do 4 of them, ideally, what would you do? Weddings. Why? Money, yes! Okay. But you know that. You know your costs on a wedding cake, and you know your costs on a birthday cake. Yeah? You know what you can charge for a wedding cake and what you can charge for the birthday cake. And you know that by the time you've done that same work, and it probably, and then you've got your hours on it, we can add it all up, and we suddenly know that, hold on, if I do a wedding cake, actually my return per hour may be double what it is on birthday cakes. Yeah? Therefore, when I'm talking margin and I'm trying to grow a business, let's focus on the good stuff. So, that's it. That's 5 ways. That's all it is. Yeah? But you can test this. Yeah? The idea goes that there is only 5 ways. There is only 5 ways to increase your profit in your business. So we can test it slightly. So if we just take all leads out of our business, what happens to our business? We have no leads. We have no business. Yeah? If we take the margin out, 0 the margin, very soon we will have no business. Yeah? And you can do that to each and every one of those things. This, in its fact, is the simplest, most effective business plan you will ever see. Yeah? Doesn't matter what you are, what you're doing, whether you're making cakes, whether you're making curries, whether you're growing oaks for Prince Charles. There are only 5 ways. There are only 5 ways. Now, that's our first lesson. The second lesson is, as well as words, we can put numbers in this. Yeah? So here we have what could be a nice little SEO business. Yeah? What we find is the girl that's running it is doing very well. Every year, this is an annual basis, she is getting 200 leads, 200 inquiries. Yeah? And she is very, very good at sales. She's been on some of Simon's courses. If you want to learn how to sell, go and knock on the door of Simon. And she is helping half those people to actually buy. And that's giving her how many customers? 100. And each of those customers are actually doing 5 transactions with her a year. And the cost of those transactions, £500. That means that her turnover is a nice £250,000 a year, £250,000, a nice business. And she knows that although that figure sounds really nice, it doesn't really matter because only £50,000 of that is profit. Yeah? She's got to generate £250,000, and if she does that, £50,000 of it is hers, or the directors, or however. But if she sells 199,000, eventually she'll go bankrupt. Yeah, because her costs are going to be more than her turnover. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges is really knowing how much you need to charge, and it's always much more than you think. Yeah? Yeah? And so really have a vision for profit within your company. Do not have a vision for just turning up and paying the bills, because after a while, that's the bread, that's anxious labors. That won't get you. And he's not going to take yourself down, which is incredibly painful. You'll take other people down as well. But we're doing pretty well here. She's doing pretty well. But then she gets a vision. Now, the vision may be, I need a new car. It may be, Maldives. It may be, I want to go and see my brother who's leading the church in Cape Town. Yeah? It may be, I need to support this guy who sold everything to church. And she realizes, on top of the 50,000 that she's got already, which is taken up with mortgages and kids and cars and cakes and curries, that she's going to need a little bit more money. And she works out, oh, damn it, I need to increase this stuff. I need to increase my profit margin by 10%. I want an extra $5,000. I need an extra $5,000. I need an extra $5,000. And so she goes, she takes it to the workers and says, we need to up a game. And they go, what? And then after they've stopped squealing, they might go, how? If we increase our number of leads by 10%, what does that do to our bottom line? Yeah? Oh, suddenly it's not so difficult. Actually, if you say to me, right, okay, Scott, stand up here. Yeah? That's right. So, would it be out of the ordinary for someone to come to you and say, I need to increase the number of leads I'm getting? That would be normal. So, if I came to you and did that, and I said, actually, I need to increase my number of leads by 10%, would you be able to help me? Yes. And could you deliver 10% more leads for me? Yes. Easily? Wow. Oh, okay. I might need to pay you for it. Okay, well, I might need to consider that. Stay there for a moment. But if we can increase our number of leads by 10%, magically, we can go to the Maldives. That's all we need to do. Okay, so what we find is that if we increase one of our 5 ways by 10%, we can increase the bottom line by 10%. Yeah? That's what this is a business plan. This is a plan, and if we do that, we can deliver it. Let's plan it and let's do it. Let's look at a slightly different one. Yeah. Here's another one. This is what we talked about last time. Let's just keep all our leads the same. We're happy with the amount of leads coming through the door. We're happy with the amount of resources. We haven't got any more people. We're flat out. But what we're going to do is that we're going to look at increasing our prices by 10%. Yeah? So, okay, fine, we're going to increase it. Instead of, with a nice email at the beginning of the year, our price is going up by 10%. We may want to do it a bit better than that, but that's the thrust of it, yeah? Have you ever done anything like that, Scott?
All the time.
Well, almost like on an annual basis.
Sort of like an annual basis, yeah.
Yeah, like a regular annual basis, the prices go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you lose all your customers when you do that?
No.
Oh. So is it worth doing?
Yes.
Does it directly affect your bottom line?
Yes.
Wow. Let's say that we do one of these few things, and actually we say, whew, I don't have to be limited on this. I can look to attack each of those 5 ways by 10%. Yeah? So, Luke, you're into sales. So we already know here, Scott can increase our leads through 10%. Yeah? Luke, have you ever sold anything to anyone?
Yeah, a lot.
When you started, were you better or worse than you are now?
I was terrible.
You were terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you learnt stuff during the meanwhilest?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So do you feel that, if you were given high-quality leads, if you were brought into a company, and they said to you, we just need to sell more,
Yeah.
would you be able to do that?
Yeah.
Would you say that you could deliver 10% improvement in sales?
About 60% probably.
Woo! We'll keep him. We've got 2 at the moment. Right. Anyone in business work on the kind of customer sales side? Oh, come on. Yep. So do you, as part of your work, you come over here, Ruth, stand right in the middle.
Didn't know I'd be.
This is Ruth. Do you have to speak to customers?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you have to treat them nicely?
Very.
Very nicely. And if you treat them well, do they come back?
Well, it's a little side business selling prepaid funeral plans. So.
Okay.
Probably not.
Do the people who die have friends and relations who are also going to die?
Yes.
Oh, okay. If you do them a stand-up job, right? And you get them, whatever we do, yeah?
They would recommend.
They would recommend.
Yeah.
Come on, Ruth. We all know that people are dying to get to you. Right, okay. So here we have, someone who's going to do a good job, and they're going to recommend their friends and relations to come and spend more money, right? Now, who's developing products in their company? Who's thinking, oh, we do this already, but if we did this and this, we could charge more money for it? Anyone do anything like that? Oh, come on! Give her applause. Yeah? So you're in the game, as it were, of adding value to your products. Yes. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. So do you think that over, let's say, the last year, you've been able to add 10% to your average transaction?
Yes, a lot more than 10%.
A lot more. So if you were brought into a company that says, look, we've got great leads coming in. He's doing an amazing job. He's increased our conversion rate by 60%. Conversion rate, everyone, is a business term as well as a church.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
We've got great customer services here. They're just literally, they're knocking down the door. But we just feel like we need to increase our prices. Could you help them do that?
Yes.
Wow. By 10%?
Yes.
By more. Okay. Finally, is anyone any good at kind of bookkeeping or on the financials? Anyone got any kind of experience in that? Oh! Come on! You know how it works. Steal that mic. So, in your job, you do bookkeeping, don't you, for a company?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have done that? Yeah. Are you looking at costs, and are you saying, okay, fine, actually, weirdly, some of these products we're selling well.
Yeah.
In fact, we're selling them really, really well.
Yeah.
But guys, they're losing us money. Have you ever been in that position?
Yeah.
Wow. And have you, hopefully, he thinks, been in the position of saying, really, we need to move away from those things.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we need to sell these things because these things here, these particular wedding cakes, are making an absolute fortune. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? So through your analysis of the books
Yeah.
and through financial transactions, you can see where that is.
Oh, it's quite easy, yeah.
It's
For
quite
me.
easy. It's quite easy. Yeah?
Well, 7 years of training, but yeah.
7 years, yeah. Yeah, easy for you. So. And so you could tell a director, actually, we need to move away. And if we move away, we might be able to increase the profitability of this particular area, our margins, by 10%.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, everyone. I mean, these guys are, are pretty experienced, but they're also one of us, guys. It's not that difficult. Yeah? The skills are literally in the room. Yeah? Right, here we go. We're out rolling it. We've got a plan. We've got a plan, and we want to increase our profit. We're taking on the marketeers. We're taking on the better sales. We're going to do some training. Suddenly, we're going up from 200 leads to 220. Then our conversion rate has jumped a massive 10%, taking us from 50 to 55%. In terms of our transactions, half the people that we're dealing with in this SEO company are now buying from us 6 times a year. Yeah? But everyone that buys from us is now paying £550 for something they used to pay £500 for. Wow, that's quite a jump in our bottom line. Yeah? And hey, we've got a great accountant these days, a great bookkeeper. We don't even have to go to the accountant because they don't generally know much anyway. About this kind of stuff, they don't. They're very good at what they do. They will tell you how much tax and how much money you've made or lost in a year. But this sort of stuff, my accountant doesn't tell me about. And we've just added more. Now, I've got, hold on, this doesn't quite work. I've got 10%. I've got 5 different ways. Surely that should be 50%? No. Our increase in turnover is just under 50%. Our increase in profitability is 61%. Yeah? So whereas we used to have 50,000, now we've got 80,000. Yeah? £80,000. £80,000 profit. This is about profit. This is about how we make profit, and that's the only kind of money that you're going to be interested in if you're running a business. Yeah? Absolutely. Turnover doesn't mean anything. It may make you feel good, but in the end, it will kill you. Yeah? Profit is what we're after. And if we, year on year, suddenly had £80,000 in the bank rather than £50,000, we'd have cash. Yeah? Some serious money to do some serious stuff with that's really going to make a dent in heaven. So, drawing it together, we've got 6 minutes, 16 seconds to go. Profit comes from turnover. Turnover comes from customers. This is your first learning. I mean, this is simple stuff, but that's why I love it. Yeah? Customers come from 2 places, a combination of them. Leads times conversions. You've got to have your marketing right, and then you've got to be able to sell to those leads that are coming through the door. If you do those 2 things, you will have customers. If you treat your customers well, they will buy more things more often. That's your business plan. Doesn't get more complicated than that. That's it. You can write it down here. Show it to the bank. There are only 5 ways. It's not that complicated. Yeah? This is kind of like magic. The amazing thing is that through using this, we can look at any business. Yeah? Doesn't matter what business we are. I do architecture, but that's not business. Yeah? This has allowed me to run a business that does architecture. Scott does advertising. That's his skill set, but that's not the business he's in. This is the business he's in. These are the 5 things you've got to do if you're going to do a business. What we've learned is that if you want to increase profit by 10%, we can increase any one of those things by 10%. Yeah? and it will deliver a 10% increase on our bottom line. The best one, the easiest, the best, increase your prices by 10%. If we want to drive massive growth, we look to increase everything by 10% plus. Yeah? This is not complicated to say, but this actually, come back to what I was saying about new wineskins. Yeah? This is a new way of thinking about what you're doing. Yeah? We hope that you go and deliver a good service for your clients. Yeah? We hope that you're good at doing that stuff. You've got to be good at doing what you're doing. Yeah? But what we want to give you today is a new wineskin. Yeah? We want to outlay something that says, actually, it's not just about this. I can do the same thing. I can just improve it slightly in each area, and I can have a massive increase in my overall external impact upon the world. Whatever we want to do with that profit, that's between you and God. Yeah? But you put some of this stuff in, and you will have some. It's that little plus sign, isn't it? Before I go there, I just want to bring this slide. What this also allows us to do is look at the company that we're running, yeah? And we may have a few people in there. The question is, who contributes to that improvement? Obviously, we talked about the sales and marketing team. They love it. They always know that they're delivering profit. But what about, let's just say, the cleaner? Yeah? The cleaner comes in, and every week the office is sparkling. People walk through the door, and they go, wow, this is great. What about the person that makes tea and coffee for those clients that walk you through the door? Yeah? Wow, this is great coffee. Yeah? Everyone in your business contributes. Or they can if they see where in this formula they are adding value to it. Yeah? It's not just the director. It's not just the sales team. If you're running a business, the people who you work with want to know their value. Yeah? They want to know they're valuable. They want to know that they're more important to you. They want to know that they're actually making a difference. They're turning up and they're making a difference. And this is a way that you can say, wow, thank you for doing a really great job on that cup of coffee. They're coming back next week. There's also this little symbol, 10% plus. Sometimes I just think we don't have enough vision. Let's say that we had a plan and we delivered 10% in each of those areas the first year. Yeah? And hey-ho, we decided to come back the next year and do exactly the same again. Yeah? That's like 20%. Yeah? What if we had a 5-year plan? Yeah? Now I'm just going to get close. Here. Oh. This is nice. You know, this is a healthy business. You know, we all want £50,000 at the end of the year. That's going to keep the wolf from the door, more than. But if we want to do something, if we want to plant church, if we want to go to a new market, if we want to buy ourselves into America, we're going to need something more like this. Yeah? Yeah? But even with a fairly standard business, with a decent 5-year plan, we could do this. We could go from a $250,000 company to $1.25 million company. And the difference to the directors, to the shareholders, could go from £50,000, which would keep you happy, to almost £400,000. Now, I've looked at a few of these ones with you today. This is a Word document that people like business coaches have. And on that, there are 279 ways of improving your 5 ways. Yeah? You know, we've just picked up a few. You know, follow up. That's an important one. Have a referral scheme. That's an important one. Do some advertisement. That's an important one. They're just here. They're here for the taking. I'm not saying it's a whole, it's not easy. We've heard from Gary. There were going to be some hard times there. But this is the power of business. You can do what you're already doing. You can just do more of it. You can get more people to buy more products at a higher level just by putting some simple strategies in place. So that's 5 ways.